Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the newly released Aaronrhino Grady Exclusive version from the Kyoukai Senki series. Now, the Kyoukai Senki series, the main anime series, ended, but once again they also released like a sub-series where I'm not exactly sure like the exact period, because the whole period time of when the battle takes is kind of confusing. But this is not the guy from this, and this unit is not the one that we're aware of, that because in the main series we had the three units, and then there was another one in Hokkaido which we never actually got like in the anime or anything. But this one is also a different situation. I believe it's in another different region. So this is basically the enemy commander unit, as far as I can tell in basic terms. I've seen a few episodes on YouTube, and once again I think they really upgraded their designs. I'm really looking forward for the new units going on here. Other than the commander, there's another truck coming out, and then there's the unit that the main characters use, which I actually did review one recently, but they're releasing the unit 2 versions, so like the more mass production type ish looking ones as well. So anyway, let's see what we got. So at first I was expecting a very simple name, but they're calling this the Aaronrhino, and then Grady Exclusive being obviously the pilot commander guy as well. Alright, so once again, right off the bat, the whole build, the structure is very similar, or pretty much based on the previous Brady hounds as well. So this one's the brady exclusive version. So once again, if you build one of these guys, you should know what to expect. It's basically the same process, but you know, a little bit different details here and there, and like new parts. But once again, overall the structure, the format is pretty much identical. So let's see what we got. So first of all, let's go over the typical stuff for components. So first of all, what you get, of course, from the kit is obviously the unit itself, and then we get the hands, and the hands still has the function where it can has the knuckle weapon inside, which means once we have the hands, meaning that we have the open hands. So once again, the only confusing part about these hands is kind of telling which way is left and right. So because they're not your typical human style finger style, so yeah, go figure. But once again, they're pretty cool, not too bad. And I personally, the reason why I'm reviewing this is I personally really enjoy the Kyoukai Senki series and the kits as well. So yeah, they're overall fun. And then once again, like the previous Brady, not the Brady, the Brady hounds, once again, we have like different options for the eye. So these units would have like a closed eye version and then the open eye version as well. So this one, currently I'm using the kind of the closed one, so like a typical mono eye style, and then there's the one where it's been stretched out. Now the reason why I'm using the closed one is that the sticker doesn't really apply too cleanly because of the design here. Now previously they would be in a shape like this. So I mean, at least these are actually 3 separate pieces, so they were easier to apply a little bit more cleanly. This being a larger single piece, doesn't seem too clean, and the smaller one definitely seems a little more cleaner to me, so that's why I'm using it. And then once again, now the previous Brady hounds, they actually came with 2 blades. The brown one, so the mass production type one, definitely came with combat knives, but blades that are slightly longer for it to be combat knives. And then the Brady Hound exclusive, the Brad exclusive version one would come in with longer blades, more like a katana style. This one actually comes in like this, a double-edged sword style one, and they only give you one, oddly enough. So yeah, so you get one, and then we get a shorter version of their rifle. So this unit is much more meant to be used for close combat. And this actually solves a few issues that I had with the previous rifles. You can see there's a connector here, so you connect it to the arm and then put in the handle. Now the previous rifles look like this. I'm excluding the laser rifles. The only issue I had was that as much as I like the design here, and then for aiming wise, it kind of makes sense to have this on the side. But once again, even I put in the handle, it would sometimes be a little bit janky. So that's the only issue I had. But with this, having the extra connector here, solves that issue. So yeah, it's a small issue, but it's kind of interesting to see them to actually solve it. Alright, and other than that, so decal wise, we get some sort of a symbol insignia here, so you can apply these wherever you want. And then sticker wise, here is the sticker. There's not much. So there's obviously the 2 eyes, and then here we have a few sensors here. So this one that goes on top of the head, that's under the clear piece. And then here, I believe these green ones, it says number 4, but they're actually 2 number green stickers. So these are actually for the rifle as well, and these are for sensors. Once again, it says number 5, but it's actually 2 stickers that goes on the chest here. So I think, well, chest-ish. So you can see these 2 purple ones, those are the stickers I'm talking about. Now leftover parts wise, so these are, well, I'm showing these separately because these are meant to be for customization. So that if you buy any of the weapon packs, or if you have any other weapons, you can use these to connect this to the backpack. Because as you can see, unlike previous versions, these things actually have a lot of ports here. You can see there's all these holes over there in the arms and legs and such. To give you an idea, here is the Brad exclusive. So yeah, you can see there are no holes in the same places. So yeah, they actually are starting to think like in terms of customization. I think there were also rumors where they also tried to like somehow put these guys inside the 30-minute mission line, but once again, that's a little bit stretched at this point, so who knows. Those were just rumors. I have no proof. All right, now let's talk about for the leftover parts. So we'll go plate by plate. So let me put this guy on the side. So we have these plates. Once again, we have the parts that goes into the either. I think these are either the arms or legs, but I think these are the more of the arms. You can see, yeah, for the arms, because this one actually has a new style. Well, not new design arm, not in terms of like structure, but design arm. So design-wise, so we have a different part. So which is why we have leftover pieces. Also, the chest does not use this one, so we have a different style chest. So once again, that's a leftover piece. Now we still get the parts necessary to connect this into the stored carrier. So for those who don't know, in the Kyoukai Senki series, they actually released a aircraft model kit, which you can actually connect the Brady hounds or other of the foxhound units as well to the carrier. So in order to do that, you actually need like these parts to connect it to the back and then connect it to the plane. So you still get those parts as well. And once again, we get some parts that are previous from the unit. We get the thruster parts here and there, and chest part, or technically the stomach part to be more specific. And then once again, we only have a few parts here, like these parts here. These are supposed to be the original thruster parts, or something that looks like thrusters onto the original units. But once again, this thing has a different design, hence we have leftover parts. And because of the different style design, we get a new main body part as well. So these, I'm assuming this is the old one. The new one is in there. All right, and then once again, more leftover thruster parts. And then these are all the previous leg parts. So you can see, even though they may have the same shape, these ones do not have any of the ports. Hence, we're using these. Hence, as leftover parts. Sorry about that. All right, so let's go over a quick comparison. So obviously, articulation-wise, it's pretty much going to be the same. So once again, we have, keep in mind this. The interesting structure is that you can see this being the arm, the whole entire body structure is a little bit different. So you can actually move this part to move the arm forward and backward as well, but you also have a little bit of ball joint connection, so a little bit more wiggle there. 360 is still, you know, there as well. And then bend wise, not too much. You get 90 degrees bend, and that's pretty much it. But once again, you still get the 360 rotation on the arms as well. Hands are your still typical ball jointed hands. Body wise, you can go forward and backward, side to side. 360 should be possible in terms of this design. I believe there was one that could not do this because there was something blocking the way. And then legs are pretty much almost the same structure. You can move it to the You can move it to the side as long as you don't knock off the ball joint there. Going forward, 90 degrees is almost possible. It's just the sides are just too big and fat that can't do that. You can extend the back skirt like that. Going backwards 90 degrees is also possible. The reason why this part is actually a little bit more freely movement is that in order to make it into a storage mode to connect it to the stored carrier, there is another mode that you do it, but I'm not going to show that because the stored carrier is not with me at the moment. It's actually in my parents' house. And then bend wise, you get a nice bend, but it goes a little bit more 90 degrees, but that's pretty much it, but still pretty much well done. Feet wise, you get a nice ball jointed feet, so 360, and then also getting a nice pivot joint should be no problem as well. Now keep in mind the feet, you have these claw looking things that you can actually close them up inside wise and make them a little bit flat, but once again, I believe even though you do make them flatten out, it's just kind of difficult to get them on an even ground. So once again, you do want to, as mentioned in the manual, to open them up and to look at like this. Alright, so let's do a quick comparison. Now, because I've reviewed pretty much every of these units, I think the only one I haven't reviewed is the black variant, I think. But once again, I don't think it was necessary for me to get everything. So here we have the previous commander, well, a different character from the main series. You can see the overall similar structure going on here as well. So, but you can see I keep forgetting the whole name because this name was very interesting. The Aaronrhino, or the Aaronrhino. You can see definitely has the same structure, but design-wise, it definitely seems a little more bulkier compared to its previous design here. So yeah. So you can see, once again, the legs are almost pretty much the same, but you can see the difference being the ports here. The arms, one of the biggest differences is that you can see the arms, there are nothing here. You can just see they're just arms. But in this case, this guy actually has something called the chain gun. Well, that's what it's called in the manual. So yeah, we actually have some built-in weapons on the unit as well, and I am a big fan of built-in weapons as well. And then once again, the blade. Luckily enough, in this case, you can just connect this to you can just slot it into the hand, I believe. Oh wait, actually, yeah. One thing is that you can see these hands. I forgot to mention, for those who don't know, these can be actually extended forward to make it to be used as knuckles. So that's what, and when you actually use this to slide in weapons, make sure that this is actually going forward first, because if you go back, you can see it's actually blocking the way of the entrance. So yeah, make sure. And then if you want to make sure to have a firm grip, make sure to pull it back in so that it's like lock in place. So once again, the blade works absolutely fine. No big deal here. The only odd part is that despite having 2 sheath areas, they only give you 1. Of course, that's the way how it was in the YouTube show series, but just found it a little bit odd. Alright, and then finally we have the gun. So the gun, I suggest you put, even the manual suggests this, you plug this into the peg first, and then you slide it into the hand. Give me a moment. There we go. And now you have the gun connected. This is a short barrel rifle, so obviously this is much more for close combat rather than long range. But still, the gun may look a little bit goofy, but who knows, maybe later they'll release a longer version with the connector here, because like I said before, the previous gun did not have any connectors as well. And I believe these guns are technically locked to only of the right side of the hand, because there's no way to actually connect this to the other side as of now. So it's a little bit bummer, but oh well. Alright, and finally, one of the biggest changes is that this thing actually has extra thrusters compared to the other one. So you can see the previous units, like for example this one. Now the mass production types would not even have these, if I remember correctly. But these would have these weird hangers as well. This one actually has more thrusters going on here, so I believe you can actually take these off. They're separate pieces, no big deal. And then for even more thrust, oops, there we go. This actually has extra boosters here, so you can actually fold these upwards a little bit. So they're supposed to be in slightly angle, because the way how you connect it is also in an angle. And then the cool part is that they actually have these binders that you can actually flip up, so to give out that extra boost effect going on here as well. And finally, this part, I wasn't expecting these. These were actually meant, we've seen this before. Based on the Hound unit, there was a blue Arctic version as well that would have these grappling hooks. And I believe they actually had the same style of these, and then those were supposed to be meant for like grappling hook ropes and such. So it's a bit odd to see them here, but you do have these as well. So, and these could be actually used for other weapons, but it's just a matter of finding the right weapon that fits here. Alright, and that is pretty much it. So once again, if you tried out the Foxhound, Brady Hound, or whatever Hound units that's been from the Kyoukai Senki series, you know what to expect in terms of the kit build style. You should know the structure or how they work as well. It's just another variant that they released from that short YouTube series as well. But once again, thanks to that series, we are getting 2 more kits. Like I said, the green unit and the other truck unit as well. I'm actually really looking forward for the truck unit, because I actually did like the truck from the Kyoukai Senki series, the previous one. It was a very simple truck, but it was fun building it, and it was interesting to see a futuristic truck kit from Bandai. So any vehicles from Bandai, I'm actually pretty looking forward to try them out. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the newly released Aaronrhino from the Kyoukai Senki series. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, See you guys next time.